Could be a short meeting, could be a long meeting. We shall see. We have two important things on the agenda. I'm going to call a meeting to order. It's 2:02 and the tree committee is now in session. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of January 16th, 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved. Is there a second?
Second,
Motion moved, made and second. Is there any discussion on the approval of the minutes?
Wait, sorry, Ray. Bill can't vote.
What? Who can't vote?
Bill can't vote.
Oh, that's right. Bill can't vote. I
Sorry,
need
Bill.
another second.
it's all right, it's fine.
All right, let's have another second. James.
Oh, I wasn't at the meeting, so
All right, Nicole.
Let me,
Second.
I can interrupt again. James, you can still vote on the minutes. So you don't have to actually be in attendance for meetings. Your vote is actually in the confidence of the minute taker.
oh, okay. Then
Okay. Now. All in favor of approving the minutes of January 16th, say aye.
I
Aye.
Okay, any negative replies? Okay, the minutes are approved. Okay, Nicole, Tree City. Where are we? Give us
Tree
good news.
City, there was good news. We received a notification. Remember the application for Tree City USA was submitted prior to the deadline. First it goes to the state and they've approved it, and I got an automated message that it's been bumped along to the federal, but that is still status pending. So I'm imagining it's just kind of paperwork at this point, and we'll have to wait to hear that everything is all set. At which time I did say that I think they're gonna give us like more information about like how to publicize, how to promote the fact that that you're now Tree City USA, and maybe more information about getting updated signs or anything of that event. But I feel like we're just kind of waiting. But good news, I think we're one step closer. And I'd imagine we would have gotten comments from the state level, if there were any, and we did not. So that was good.
Where's National located? You know?
I guess it's Arbor Day Foundation. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's great. Hopefully, the next 3 weeks, they'll give us an approval. We can announce it at the meeting. At the
Yes.
forum. That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll definitely want to do a little bit of PR around that. And we may be able to actually coincide it with our, kind of one of our lead up activities to the Arbor Day that we'll have to start planning for this year for 2024,
Right.
which could be the poster contest. Maybe we can coincide those winners with, that announcement and everything. So, and I can give the update on the poster contest either now or later.
Well, that's the next thing. If
That's
you
the next thing.
You want to work your way right into the poster contest.
Yep.
Question on the Tree City. Do they furnish us with the signs that go on the highway, or do we have to purchase those ourselves?
No, good question. I haven't found anything clear, that says one way or the other. So I do not know. I guess we're gonna have to just kind of wait a little bit to see, what they say once we're approved.
I wonder if by any chance the old signs that we had that said that we were a Tree City might be around in the town highway department somewhere.
They're still up, Shirley.
They're
I've
still up.
seen, there's at least
Oh, are
one.
they? Okay.
Yeah. And I believe in other towns, the newer signs are larger than the one that we have up. So I think we need new signs. It'd be nice.
Yeah. I'll find out about that again. I didn't find anything offhand yet at this point.
And if they do give us signs, we may have to buy over a certain amount, because we will need more than two. I mean, we need every road that enters Bridgewater, we should have a sign. Any main artery, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 different signs. Anyway, that's great.
Yeah, and I have seen other ones too, like the one that is hanging on the face of the DPW building where you fill your water.
Yeah,
It does, you know, there is a plaque, and then it looks like they had just a little fixture basically that went over to update the number of years at some point. So I'm not sure if there's like just some add-on to some of those signs that we can, you know, technically ours is a little strange though, because we'll have this gap, you know, of years that we technically were not a tree city. So I don't know if we'll have to start from scratch again, or I guess we'll have to, you know, ask more questions once we're approved.
And I
Um,
think also in relation to the signs, when it comes time to either put up more or do something with them, we ought to make that a PR event, get some pictures and get it around in Facebook and maybe the local paper.
good idea, Shirley.
Absolutely.
Nicole, I hope you'll be at the forum. If so, maybe you can give a 1-minute summary of what the Tree City is, what we're doing at Tree City. That would be great.
Yeah, March
12th.
12th, right? Let me just, yep,
6:30. Yep, good.
yep, I
Good.
will be there.
Okay,
Um,
poster contest then.
so the poster contest, so I think we brought this up on a few of the other calls. I think there was general agreement that it would be great, and everyone agreed that I should reach out to the school. So I reached out to the Williams Intermediate School, and I spoke with the principal, Mr. Clark. He reached out to his teachers, his science teachers in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. I told them we only wanted to do 1 grade because you can do either 3rd or 4th or 5th or like all of them. But for our first year, I said, let's just do the 1 grade. 5th grade was the most excited about it because they are actually learning about trees and some of their curriculum. Technically, they're learning about the rainforest, but they've definitely been talking about like some of the, you know, scientific principles of trees. So the science teachers were excited. One of the teachers even called me. She was just so excited about doing it. She's basically take the whole thing over. I gave her a bunch of resources, but she is going to do a little curriculum with them. They're going to talk about the benefits of trees, and then they're going to basically, according to the rules of the Arbor Day Foundation national poster contest, they're going to basically draw these posters with the theme of kind of healthy trees, healthy towns, or something like that, healthy communities. So they have to draw a picture that, you know, kind of represents their understanding of how trees would benefit our community. So let's see, we have to basically select 1 winner that we will submit to DCR, to Mass DCR, and to the federal program. And that just needs to be postmarked by the 15th. I
15th
was
of what?
thinking March 15th.
Okay.
So I think the night of the forum may be a great chance for maybe a few of us to sort of establish a final voting committee maybe, and you know, kind of select that since we'll already be there, maybe we can get there a little earlier or stay a little later. The teacher was pretty excited the fact that they have 3 teams, the way that they're structured. So there's sort of 3 separate science classes in science teachers in 5th grade. So she sort of volunteered to kind of pick the 1 winner from each team. So she wants to essentially give us 3 winners, which will make it easier than us trying to go through 280 posters. Give us 3, and I suppose we have to make the executive decision on which one we want to send to the national. But if you all agree, I think we give them all our own little local award recognition. Maybe we could give them a little, you know, those little ribbons, maybe to display that in the school, and maybe see, Josh, maybe we can display the 3 winning posters in the town hall at some point. Something like that, and we could, you know, give the one that we send along to the national competition kind of a grand award winner or whatever. So that is the status of that.
Nicole, you said the deadline is when?
March 15th, it needs to be postmarked by the 15th. So if we select it on the 12th, we could put it in the mail on the 13th.
We actually have a meeting on the 12th also.
Oh, that would be even better. That would give me a
So
little
select it
time.
then. Okay,
Yeah, because I can take pictures of the 3 and send them around to the committee, and then I can also screen share in case anybody didn't get a chance to see them. I mean, I'm sure they're fairly simple. They're just on like a little 8.5 by 11 papers.
okay, great. That's great. Did the money situation work out, Josh, Nicole? I mean,
Yeah. So, if you want, I can put the invoice up on the screen. And then the committee can, vote to, approve it, and then, I'll, get it, submitted, from the tree mitigation fund.
Okay.
Yes, so that's amazing. So Josh was able, that was the other part of this. Josh was able to help. I figured, I don't know what, that the school is sometimes limited in their art supplies. But more specifically, they were going to need a nice quality paper to draw their posters on. So we ordered a few, I looked into I think it was kind of more like a cardstock kind of paper, a little 8.5 by 11. And we ordered that, as well as just a few few sets of markers that the students could share amongst those 3 different classes. Thanks, Josh. So this was the materials that we were able to find just on Amazon. Some of it was even on sale, which was great. And I guess we do need to, I guess I do need to put forward a motion to approve the paper and art supplies for the Arbor Day 5th grade poster contest, from our kitty, from our budget, whatever we're calling that.
Okay, then I'll assume that's your motion. Nicole,
That's
is
my
there a second
motion,
to the
and the
motion?
total was $246.08. That was enough for the 280 students in the 5th grade, with a little extra in case some of them lose it or make a mistake. Which is likely.
Nicole's motion is to expend $246.08 for the supplies for the poster contest. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Is there a discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good. That's great.
Thank you. That's
Anything
great.
else, Nicole, on the poster contest we need to know?
No, just know, I'll remember that, timing wise, we just need, it just kind of had to come together quickly because I realized they were going on February break.
Right,
Definitely wanted to get that in the hands of the teachers last week, so they already set the students up. And they were going to be allowed to bring their poster home and work on it this week, but then they're going to have next week too, to finish it in class. And then that's why she had asked if I could come pick them up at the school on March 4th or 5th. So I'll have them, I'll take the pictures, I'll send them around to the committee to look at the 3, and then we can vote next time in terms of which one we want to send along to national, and maybe, a idea about recognizing the 3 students and the 1, additional student. Maybe the 3 could even be invited to join us in our Arbor Day when we plant a tree or
yep,
something.
That's
That's
a good
great.
idea.
Or
that's
we
super.
could see if we can find a way to plant the tree. I know we're talking about the middle school as a possibility. I know that's been mentioned a lot, but which is the one on Prospect Street, but perhaps we could plant a tree, at the Williams. We'll see if this student happens to win. That's part of the awards. They get there's funding that comes back to the school, and there's like a tree planted. There's definitely some pretty cool prizes.
All right. Okay, that's gonna be a major item on the March 12th agenda.
Yep.
That you have to
Yep.
sign. Good, good. Any other comments? Did we vote?
We did vote.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Uh,
That's
I have
great.
one comment or question. So Nicole, you mentioned that the teacher said most of their lessons around trees have been on rainforests. I wonder if I should, or I'd be willing to connect with that teacher to suggest either for this year, which is probably too late, or for next year, I could come talk about rainforests. I have like the rainforest.
Oh,
I took
yeah.
that picture behind me.
Look at that, yeah.
That's in the
And-
5th, yeah, because it's in the 5th grade curriculum. And this particular teacher, Mrs. Corrigan, one of my sons had her. She is amazing. She just pulled it all together. I'm like, I can pull slides together. I was offering to do all the things. She's like, nope, I got it. I'll do it. So she was all excited about it.
I even have
But
this thing I did recently. So I got into rainforest because of the problem of deforestation, but also recently I've started to learn more about the mythology of the rainforest. And so I have cute kids. The last time I was there, I bought a couple of kids' storybooks and things that they're in Portuguese, but I can translate as I go and tell them. I do that with my own students here. I'm in my classroom where I'll be talking about more grown-up Amazon stuff later today, but I'd be happy to do a 5th grade thing. Like I said, I know teachers have their plans, so
Yeah,
it's something I talked to her about for next year, but if there's time this year, I can stop in and talk about
you
rainforest.
should. I'll definitely connect you. I'll send you
Oh,
an
thank you.
email offline. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's actually excellent. I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's bringing the tree committee into the classroom too. That's superb. If you can do that, that'd be great. Thanks, James. Okay. We have the poster contest. Arbor Day is the 26th of April. Do we want to plant a tree? And if so, where? Any thoughts on that? We can make a final decision, I suppose, at our March meeting, but I think it'd be a good idea to plant another tree.
I agree.
And I'm not sure, I went through my head of checking about at the senior center about when they're going to start planting. Planting trees there. We've allocated $6,000 for them for trees. I'm not sure whether that would count towards Arbor Day, but I think we should probably decide on some place for a tree between now and the next meeting.
Yeah.
And if-
Well, like I mentioned, I would think maybe we could find a spot at the Williams School so that it would make it easy for those students to potentially even participate, the 5th graders. And or just the 3 or the whole class.
At the Williams,
That would be at the Williams. I don't think that has as much opportunity, I think, is what a lot of, I don't remember who has been talking about it, but I've definitely brought it up to the, Prospect Street. We might have had a little email about that, about along the middle school. So that's a little different. They would, the Williams students wouldn't necessarily be able to just walk over there as a group, but maybe those 3 students could come over if we decided that. I think one of those 2 schools could be a good option. Because it is public space.
what would be the process there? We go to the principal to see whether we can do it, or how would we do that?
Well, what did we do when we decided the park last year, the down near the softball, the playground? That's technically town-owned land.
It is town-owned land, yeah. I don't know. I think, why don't we, wait a minute. First of all, do the rest of you think this is a good idea to plant a tree at the Williams School or one of the schools? Is there any other thoughts of some other place?
I think that's very good. I was just checking my calendar. Oddly enough, I'm going to be at a school called Oak Hill School on Arbor Day, but it's nowhere around here. So I hope it happens, but I won't be part of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
along Prospect Street, I think that the middle school is, I think, more of an opportunity to kind of help restore canopy on that street, so it may be more than just a single tree. Those might be bigger projects we think about if it is just to be a single tree, like what we did we did 2, but small tree, like what we did last year as part of our ceremony. I think we could definitely find somewhere to tuck it in at the Williams School and integrate it in to the, the poster contest.
Okay. What's the process here? What do you think? How are we gonna go about doing this? We have to make contact, obviously, with the school. Bill, do you have any thoughts about kind of tree, or is it gonna be another scrawny tree like we planned last year, or are we gonna have to have professional put something in the ground? Any thoughts?
Well, I would imagine we
Should find
should
a
talk to
site.
the, whoever is in charge of the grounds there. And that would get us started. If we have to go to the school administrator, that would be second.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just wondering whether does the individual school have the right to make the decision, or is it more of a highway department, or I don't know. It's not a rhetorical question. I have no idea.
Ultimately, the Paul and the highway department are going to have to deal with whatever trees are put in there, or mature trees as they are now. So I would imagine the Public Works would have a real say there.
Yeah, and Ray, you could probably reach out to the school and then we could finalize it during the March meeting when Paul is available. Cause
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, finalize. If we
yeah, Paul,
finalize it-
he declined the meeting invite, so I don't think he could make it for today.
Okay. Um, okay, I'll contact Paul and maybe the school, but then we have time at the March meeting, if we make a decision on where and type of tree, we have
Yep.
time to do that before Arbor Day, correct?
Yeah.
That's 5 weeks away.
Yeah, whew, yeah, it is. Well, I think we need to see if there's a good spot. I think that they have lost a few trees in some of their islands in their parking lots. The property of the actual school all those fields in the back, I think some of it is technically kind of considered Legion Field, so it's technically not considered the school per se. So we may be able to kind of stretch back in that area too, to see if there would be any place where a tree might be planted. I know that there's a beautiful little new memorial that was just built on the back side of the field, the football field, kind of where the football field meets the baseball fields, in memory of Charlie Simons, who was the parks superintendent that passed away. And I don't know if there would be a nice place near that to plant a tree too, so that could be another thought. I think
You
we
want-
might need to take a little field walk to take a few pictures of some possible places to vote on for the next meeting.
Do you want to do one tree or two trees?
Why don't we just do one tree, keep it simple? We've got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, I'm willing to go over there. If anybody wants to,
Yeah,
Nicole's idea of a walkthrough is important.
yeah.
Maybe talk to the principal also. Who
Maybe-
else wants to help?
If we go on a weekend, it will make it easier because we don't have to really get permission from the school at first, because I don't want to bring it up if we're like, ew, there's really no spot here.
Okay. Okay, anyway, you I'll go. Does anybody want to help? I don't want to be the only
I'll-
one.
I'll come.
Okay, you email me the time you're available. I can probably,
Yeah,
work
and we
my-
could even shoot over to the middle school too if we don't see any place at the Williams School and,
Okay, all right.
kind of
Just
just
let me know,
find
Nicole.
between those two. Yep, okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other points on Arbor Day? All right, Paul's not here. Pamphlets.
The only other thing on the Arbor Day, I'm sorry, is we'll have to dig up again the, what was it? That we had the town council all sign our annual proclamation. So we'll basically have to kind of get all that in order again for, to discuss next month as well.
Okay, you can do that, Nicole?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. And that's true going forward, Nicole, that council has to approve the proclamation every year, right? Okay,
every year we have to have an Arbor Day celebration, the proclamation, and meet all the standards.
Okay.
Those are part of the standards.
right. Okay. Okay, pamphlets, we had talked about, printing pamphlets, Josh, last time, or about, you said the printer in Bridgewater can do them. And you were worried about whether we have approval or not. I did check with, the Arbor Day, and they gave me written approval to print as many as we want of the pamphlet. The pamphlet is this one, if you remember, you see it, right?
Yep.
Okay, just as an aside here, it occurred to me when I was going through my notes that we have another one. I'm not sure we talked about it, DCR one on tree planting. And I'll tell you more when we talk about the forum. I did contact one of the people in charge over there. And I emailed her this morning and she just responded right away saying, if we want to print this also, we can, not a problem. So we have two, I think we decided to use the Arbor Day Foundation one for the forum and any other time. I think we're talking about 200, printing 200. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. No? Anyway, we need to print something, both for the forum and any other time we, whether Arbor Day or whatever. Have you all seen the DCR one? Okay, don't
Yes.
all respond at the same time now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't handle this.
I've seen it, but I'd have to review it.
Well, we did agree on this one,
Yes.
right? Okay, and Josh, you said you can get this done, correct?
Yeah, I just wanted to get that confirmation from Arbor Day that it was okay to print.
There, it's okay, I have the written confirmation.
Excellent.
They basically said print as many as you want.
Perfect.
Okay, and did we talk about 200 or we talk more than that?
I think initially 200 for the forum.
Okay. All right. And correct me if I'm wrong, did we have an actual motion on that, Josh? Or,
It would be in the minutes. Let me
well,
just
why don't we just do it? And I have a motion to print 200 of the Arbor Day flyers.
So moved.
Motion made, is there a second?
I mean,
Second.
second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay,
You okay?
all in favor of printing 200 of the Arbor Day flyers, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Okay, so Josh, you have 3 weeks to get this done, right?
Yep.
And you said the printer can do it in a couple days if necessary?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
very quick.
All right,
May I ask a question?
yep,
We talked about maybe putting a sticker on different flyers with our name on it.
yes, we did. And
And
Josh, what did you said that can be done?
So I think, and I might have got a little confused on it. I think that was part of the discussion or part of the question to Arbor Day was if it'd be okay if we put some type of identification for the Bridgewater Tree Committee on it. Do you know if that was part?
I didn't
Question,
ask. I
Okay.
didn't ask.
Yeah, the only other option I can think of, if we're not directly editing the pamphlet, would be to get like there's these like label stickers you can buy. That's just like office supplies that you don't really put on envelopes, and we just have to stick them to 200.
Okay, why don't we do this then? I will check back. Since
Okay.
we have the okay to print, I will check back and see whether we can put a sticker on. If we can, fine. If we cannot, we can still print 200 and still pass them out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Like I said, they just need a couple days. They've printed way more complicated things for us in just a day or two.
good. Okay. Everybody fine with that? Okay. The forum. The forum. It has been an interesting run this last couple of weeks on the forum. Let me just give you an update and chime in anytime, please. The forum is set for Tuesday, March 12th at 6:30 in person at the library. We have 2 presenters. The second one has just came on board. The first one is Ron Akchar from the college. He will speak to the importance of trees and the environment. And he'll do a PowerPoint. I think we discussed PowerPoints here. He said he will do a PowerPoint. After talking to a number of different organizations, all supportive, but not willing to give me a name of anybody, I did get somebody from DCR, Ryan Falkset. He lives in Quincy, and he's happy to help. He says he already has a PowerPoint on tree planting.
oh, good, good.
So I think he'll be fine. And I've also talked to Jeff Fowler and Jed at the library about the technology, and maybe if we can work it out, my nephew, we can get him online from Colorado, because he may have something to say. I know, I mean, he's obviously well qualified, a PhD in forestry. But that's either here nor there. In my mind, if it's gonna be a problem, we will not use him. If we can get him on without causing some sort of hassle, then I think it'd be great to have him on. So I think we're okay there. Everybody tells me technology will be fine. I don't trust it. Just don't trust it. Something's gonna go wrong. And I'm just kidding. Correct me if I'm wrong, we did agree on $100 stipend, did we not? Because I told both these gentlemen that we would give them $100.
Oh.
Okay? And Josh, you have to tell us how we work that out. Do we
Yeah, I was just going to say, let me see what's necessary so we can make sure that they get paid correctly and it comes out of the tree mitigation fund.
okay, good.
I would just we might have to do what we did with the art supplies, just vote it at the March meeting.
Okay. How do they do that? Do they send the check to the person or they giving them at?
For the stipend, I actually don't know. Usually we have an invoice. So I'll find out how the correct way to do it.
Okay, good. Again, chime in, people, if I'm saying something you don't agree with or whatever. Advertising has already gone out. Josh is dealing with the town. By the way, I didn't see it on the town website, Josh, in the calendar. I just happened to look at it today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were. I thought this meeting was going to be the approval of the flyer before it went on.
Oh, no, no, I didn't.
Okay,
You all saw the flyer we sent out, right?
I can put it on the screen if that helps.
All right. I
Just
apologize. It's out right now, but not on the town site. Why don't you put it out?
Oh, good.
I think it's nice.
Yes, it is. It's
Mhm.
very nice. I know
Very
it's started to be circulated, so that's good.
Yep.
Nice and clean.
All
and
right.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I'm usually a person that has to go through all the approvals, so I can get on the town's Facebook right after the meeting though.
If you don't tell anybody, it's already out there. Okay, a number of groups will be advertised that the forum is taking place. I think we're going to have a decent sized crowd. I really do.
Oh,
They will
good.
probably fill the library up and the meeting room. Somebody, I have the garden club on the agenda. The only reason I put it on was, does anybody have contact with the garden club so they can know that they'll know that we're having the forum? I don't know anybody on the garden club or emails. Anybody here? No.
Well-
Pat, you're gonna say something?
Well, I have reached out to Sandy Alley. You know, she was talking about giving trees away at the election. So she seems to be the only person I've contacted before. But you know,
Maybe you could send her the flyer then.
yeah, I'd be glad to. And
Because-
I've already shared it with my Lake Nipponicket group
Good.
and our neighbor group Facebook
Good.
page. So that's
And
good.
I hope everybody does that. Just share the flyer with everybody you know.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're gonna have a good crowd. I really do.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, I'll get in touch with Sandy and just send her that same flyer.
Okay. All right, okay, the order of the forum, again, interrupt me if you don't think it's right. I thought I would start by welcoming everybody and simply giving a 1-minute history of the tree committee. We could either have Ron then step in with the spending 10 to 15 minutes on the importance of trees. followed by Ryan with the planting of trees for New England. And then Shirley volunteered to give the crowd, give the audience an update on town bylaws regarding trees, which I think is important. Now, I put Shirley after the two presenters. Do you think she should be first in terms of what the town requires in terms of trees, or after?
I wonder if before, because then if we have the speakers speak, a lot of times you then want to just open it up to Q&A for them.
Yep.
And if that was going long or something, we would, maybe risk not having Shirley have time.
Yep.
That's just my recommendation.
That can enter my mind too. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
Cheryl, how long do you think that would take to introduce the bylaws?
I put out a little outline. I don't know if you picked it up in your emails this afternoon, but I would think that it could be somewhere around 12, 15 minutes.
Got it shorter than that.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think it'd be a little shorter than that, not 15 minutes.
Okay, that's good.
By the way, Shirley, I printed everything out. And I'll give you the printed copy of all the town bylaws. I have it printed for you.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
I went through the ordinance that we have as we have it to date and picked out things from the ordinance.
Okay.
But yes, if you would have any more, that would
Yeah,
be
I
great.
do. I have it. Yeah.
Good.
Including subdivision control and so forth. I think a lot of it can be done very quickly. Yeah.
Good.
So we'll start with, I'll introduce people. Tree committee will go right into, we'll have Shirley step in with the short summary of the town laws regarding trees. And then we go into the presenters. And then, do you want questions after each presenter or wait till the end?
I think it's good to have them after they've presented while it's fresh in their mind.
Great. Okay. All right. And then,
What I
after-
just sent, the chat here is set up so that it just went to Josh. He's probably wondering what the heck that is. Half kidding, whenever I start forest ecology, I play the song I just sent to Josh. Probably not the best for this group, but you never know. I always students tell me this actually helps them. It's a song by Rush called Trees. And I actually play it for my students because there's a whole lot going on in that song, more than it seems like. Probably not that song for this forum, but some tree related music might be nice before we actually get started. I start every class I teach with some kind of music. And since it's my classroom, I do more, I have a lot of freedom to do things that might otherwise not be appropriate. But this Rush song, Trees, I don't know if anybody remembers Rush, Canadian group, but they had a song called Trees. But it's rock music. It's probably a little boisterous for this event, but there might be some tree music by Vivaldi or something that we have playing as people come in. I have students tell me that the fact that I play music helps them to remember things. I don't know if that's true or not, but
well, that's a possibility. And also, you jog my thoughts, James, but if we should probably have on screen maybe before we even start some pictures of trees that just a sort of collage of trees while people are coming in. Let's work on that. We can work on either one or both.
okay.
Okay. What else? Am I missing something on the form? Are you all coming? Yes, you will come.
Did you include the carrot and importance of trees?
Well, that would be, yes, that would be the second presenter.
Okay.
Yeah. And if my nephew is on, which is questionable, I won't have him present anything, but he may be able to make comments during the question period. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right.
It would be great to have him available to answer questions.
Yeah, yeah. I just, again, I'm just a little concerned about technology. I think, I don't know. I'll have to talk to Jeff again. He seems to think it'll work out, but I don't trust
Well, I
it.
think it could if we set up a Zoom call, even if it's just private, where he's the only other person invited.
Right,
and-
yeah,
and
that's
then
the way
we-
it'd have to be.
We launch it from the room and we're presenting the slide deck from the laptop that you're launching it from, but he's kind of logged in as a participant. I think he could then, he would obviously want to mute for the whole time, but if he wanted to speak, I think he could do it that way.
But he wouldn't be able to see the slides, would he?
Yeah, because he'd be seeing, we'd be sharing the screen from the room. And I bet,
What would happen if he had something to say? Would we see both slides and him? Or just him? Well,
It's
don't
worth
worry,
talking
don't
with
worry.
Jeff about it.
yeah.
I'll work that out.
Yeah, I think we could. We kind of do it a lot for work. I don't know how well we'd see it. We might have to like minimize the slides and have his picture up on the screen.
All right. Anybody else? Am I missing something?
Ray,
Yes.
can you send us an outline of the order
I
as
will.
you've got them now?
Yep,
And
I
the
will.
names of the people involved?
yep. I'm gonna email you a lot between now and March 12th. I don't want to screw up on this, and feel free to criticize what I'm doing. Yeah,
And
Okay.
Ray, if you do use any type of Zoom integration for the event, just see if Jed can help you use one of the town's license.
Yeah.
Because I believe if you don't have a license, it's like a half-hour time limit. And we don't have a time limit, so
okay. I have talked to Jed about it. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Okay. We are not talking about mitigation this time, right? My understanding is that's gonna be in a future meeting. So the main thing besides the form is the town bylaws. You have the document from Josh and Bill. You want to go through this now? Has everybody looked at it? All right, let's, I've gone through it. I probably need to go through it again. I just have a few comments.
Would it help if I had it up on the screen?
It's up to you. I mean, I'm just looking at my copy here. That's the easiest way for me.
You do.
All right, if I just quickly go through this myself, and then if anybody chime in after me. In section 3, first of all, I like it. I mean, I think it's done very well done. Section 3, a minor thing, it says public shade tree, and it has the public way as determined by the tree warden, highway department, or planning board. Planning board shouldn't be in there. Yeah, I would scratch it. The planning board is no enforcing ability to do anything. The tree warden and the highway department is correct, I think. I would scratch planning board. Okay. Anybody else on page 1?
Ray, very quickly, I don't have that. That's section 3, a definition of a public shade tree.
Right.
It's funny, in the copy that I have that I printed out, the planning board does not appear there.
I printed this off from when Josh sent it out with the agenda.
So did I.
Yeah, I see it on my copy.
Huh.
The end of the first paragraph.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind planning board being in there, Josh, but I don't think it should be.
Okay.
Okay. All right, anybody else on page 1? Page 2?
That's what I was looking at, public shade tree on page 2. It's
Oh.
in there twice under definitions.
Okay,
It'd probably only be there once.
the, I was a little confused by the definition for urban forest. It says the collection of street, park, and residential trees within town limits. Is that right? Is that normal?
Yeah,
Alright.
yes, that's normal. That was even the definition actually that the students were going to talk about in terms of what their, trees in their community means. It's the collection of all the trees in our streets and parks and schools and yards and, forests. It's basically the forest that remains in an urbanized area.
Okay. And where it says public shade tree, I take it you have to use the word public, not just shade tree, correct? Because we're talking about street trees. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
all right. I like the tree warden, and I like the fact you put in a paid employee of the town. That's important. And that's, anybody on page 2? Okay, page 3, just a minor thing, just that you capitalize tree warden and you don't capitalize tree warden, certainly, you just have to make it uniform, either capitalize or you don't capitalize it. In section 5.1, it's not capitalized, in section 2, it is capitalized, that's all, just minor thing.
Yep, I'll do that right now.
Anybody
what-
else?
Because the confusion we had on one of the definitions, would it help to alphabetize these?
Would it help to what? Alphabetize them?
Alphabetize the definitions. That way we'll make sure there aren't any other duplicates. And people can look for what they're looking for. They're kind of in a random order. The definitions.
I don't know, what do you think? Either way with me, I suppose we normally do alphabetize.
I mean, it's a short list. It doesn't matter terribly, except that we have public shade tree listed twice.
Any reason for doing it this way, Josh, Bill?
No,
No,
I don't think
I mean, when I was creating the definitions, I was just kind of going, basically off of, like examples.
Mhm.
So it might have just, some definitions came from one example that, versus the next.
Right. I mean, I think sometimes you have a non-alphabetical order for definitions because they might be in the order they're used, like in a bigger piece of legislation or something, but here I
Yeah.
think maybe alpha makes the most sense.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
And
okay,
then we gotta figure out which one we want
okay, good.
for public, just to add that other piece. Oh, it's already in there. So that second public shade tree should probably just go away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments on page 3? Okay, page 4. You have damage to public trees and so forth. I mean, unless I missed it, I don't see anything in here on penalties.
Penalties is 8.1.
It is, okay. Okay, my mistake then.
We don't have like a public pillory kind of situation. I think that would be
that'd
good.
But Josh, in 8.1, there's no monetary damages.
No, but wasn't that going to be tree mitigation that the committee was going to discuss?
I'm not sure, I thought, no. Tree
No,
mitigation, I thought, is not necessarily a penalty, it's simply offsetting the cutting of trees for development or something.
okay, maybe I misunderstood that then.
I think 8.1 D kind of hints at that.
Yeah, but
I don't think I had an actual number.
But the old shade tree ordinance does have a number, does it not? I think it does.
I can ask Michael. I can highlight that and see what we need to do to what we can do for monetary penalties. When we have that discussion.
Yeah, I think we need to know that. I'm pretty sure the old ordinance does have monetary penalty. But I think we talked about the cutting of those trees down on Kerr Street. That if the town did apply penalties, it would cost that homeowner a considerable amount of money. All right, anybody else on where are we? Page 3, page 4? I have nothing on page 4. Going once. Page 5. On appeals. It says any action of the tree warden may be appealed to the town council. I question that. Don't you go to the town manager first? Or no? I say that because Bridgewater has a strong town manager. And I don't think the council can overrule him on his actions. They can fire him and they could cut his pay and so forth, but I don't think they,
I'll definitely highlight that one as well,
yeah.
for the clarification.
That's basically it. I need to go through this again. I don't know about the rest of you. My suggestion is that you all look at it again. And if you have more comments, send them to Josh, and that the next meeting, maybe we could finalize this. Is that okay?
Yeah, quick question. Do we want to put anything in about mitigation as far as clearing large tracts of land, or is that strictly for the planning board?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, that's what Shirley and Nicole are working on, the mitigation. And right now, zoning does have the new zoning rules that were approved, what, a year or two ago, does have a line on mitigation, about tree mitigation. It's just one line. I'll send that to you, Shirley. It doesn't give any monetary figure, though, on how to determine the mitigation. It simply says that the town can apply mitigation things to the cutting of trees. I thought what we're doing is that we're going to be able to put in a line that there's a formula for tree mitigation. Right now, it's simply up to the planning board to work out with the developer about tree mitigation. There's no rule. It's just that maybe being non-specific does help in some way. You can work out a deal, but I thought what we're talking about is rules for tree mitigation. Shirley?
Yes, Nicole and I have started to work on that several months ago now, and I think we're still in the process. There are formulas. So many inches at in such a height costs so much per inch and things of this sort. And I think we want to come up with a chart that would be fairly simple to read and understand, that developers can have and our tree warden and our tree committee can have, and we can inform the public about it, because it can get very expensive if they just clear cut a whole area as we've had in the past. And I think it can serve as a deterrent with a lot of these developments that have gone up where much more was cut than was needed.
Do other towns have specific, have you looked at other
Yes.
towns? They have specific mitigation rules?
Yes, and a formula and a chart that spells it out very clearly.
What happens when there's 150 trees cut down?
Well,
Do they
first
be-
of all, it shouldn't be cut down without going through the tree warden. And
No,
then
but
at that
let's say
time,
let's say you have a development and they want to cut down 5 acres of trees.
well, that still involves a tree warden. If he's cutting down trees, the tree warden has to be involved in it. It's not just a planning board or something of that sort. And
Even
that-
though even though it's private property.
No,
Yes.
see, no, I don't think it's a tree warden. I think the planning board
Yeah,
can rule on mitigation. But if the development is going forward, they can cut the trees. The question is what we're gonna get in return for
Well,
cutting.
Ray, that's also where we talked about the clear cutting definition and, you know, the point at which you get into that state, you know, most of the other tree ordinances from the other towns identify species of concern, right? Like the native, you know, species. Actually, they're probably very similar to the list that Pat and James put together of what we would recommend be planted in the town, right? Like the oaks and whatnot. So there's a list, and then there's also the size. So, you know, essentially we'd be asking for those trees to be mapped so that they can be identified. And those are the trees that require the mitigation. It's not like every little scrubby tree, or unless, you know, we wanted to add that to the list. So there is a point at which we could start calling something clear cutting.
Well, I guess that's my question, Nicole. Maybe I didn't
Yes.
state myself clearly. What's the line between looking at each individual tree and then you go into clear cutting? Because if you have 5 acres of trees that are gonna be cut down,
Right?
you can't measure every tree. can you?
No, I don't think that would be possible. So I think that is where they would get into the kind of clear cutting. And that's where, you know, we did start to pull together kind of some, you know, it gets pretty tricky though, because there is a portion of their site that they can cut, because there's under the zoning, there is an allowable building coverage
Right,
for your site. So
right.
I suppose it's that, you know, that would be a discretionary question, but the way we started looking at it is once you start clearing beyond that building footprint that is allowable, or that maximum allowable, that's where potentially you know, are triggering it on a per percentage basis or a per square foot basis or something. You know, I needed to do more digging into that, but I think that is what this town needs. It's just a matter of how do we write that? How do we,
The
it's
building
not
that-
easy.
Building that large building structure on 18,
Yeah,
they cut, I think, upwards of 8 acres of trees for that building.
Yep.
Now, that's clear cutting, but it's still
Yes.
on their footprint of the building, Nicole. So I think there has to be some sort of definition of
yeah,
where clear cutting comes in. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, I know, I
Yeah.
know.
Okay, all right. Do you want
Pat.
that on the agenda the next meeting, or do you want to put it off until April? March?
let's see what Pat's asking.
Pat, I'm sorry, Pat. You're muted, Pat.
you're muted, Pat.
Okay, thank you. I've seen a regulation in some other town where they prohibit cutting prior to their application, because some developers will do that. You know, so that it doesn't come under a town jurisdiction supposedly. So I think we have to look at that as well.
Good point.
A regulation, you know, to prohibit that early cutting, so they think they're clear.
Yep, good point.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Um,
Can we agree then that we will have this discussion when Nicole and I have a chance to get together and put something in front of everybody?
by all
With
means,
regard to the clear cutting and the difference between the footprint of the building and the surrounding area that may or may not be cut, and at what price it may be
Yep.
cut.
definitely.
I
And
think it'd
Ray,
be
is
really helpful.
the goal to have this mitigation information in the ordinance as well?
In the,
The-
um,
The shade tree ordinance.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure we can decide that. The mitigation may go into zoning. I don't know. Because if you look at the zoning right now, there is a line on mitigation for tree cutting. It's one line. It doesn't, nothing specific. It may have to go into zoning. That's not I don't know if we can decide on that, Josh. It
Okay.
may, I suspect, in the end, the tree ordinance that you're working on is gonna have to go before Jason anyway, the town attorney, to make sure everything.
Yeah, I checked with Michael on the process, so what we can do is, once we finalize this draft, you can make the recommendation to Michael, and then he will, sit with Jason and make any necessary edits, and then it'll come back to the tree committee, for just the final recommendation, and then, you just want to get a sponsor from town council for it.
Okay, very good. Okay. Democracy is a long process.
Yeah, just, I have one other question too. I guess if it's only in the zoning ordinance, then it really is only going to apply to those entering a permitting process with planning or zoning. It wouldn't, and that's fine. It just means we're not, there would be no way for just the tree warden to ever review anything on a private property, which is what, I guess, if we wanted anything to apply to private properties just in general, I think that we would have to add it to the ordinance at some point in time.
Yeah.
Like the town, like some of these towns, like right outside of Boston, they literally, you need a permit to cut down a single tree in your yard. And I'm not sure that we would want to do that in Bridgewater, but we're a little different than Wellesley. But if there was something we're concerned about, we may need to add it to the ordinance at some point. I mean, one comment I just wanted to bring forward that came up in our open space committee was that a lot of people are concerned about the loss of trees along the roadways, especially like all of our older roads like Auburn, and several roads have been mentioned. So those big trees come down, and I think technically no one knows if they're public trees or private trees, but a lot of the private trees, these humongous trees, are actually serving as a canopy to our roads, even though they may be on private property. So that was something in the back of my mind, like if there was something to the ordinance that it applies to any street tree, we could add something like, or within 20 feet of the edge of a roadway. That would, because a lot of these trees in the town are providing, canopy. And then there's always this question, no one knows if it's a town tree or a private tree. If there was anything we wanted to extend coverage to, we could. But I don't think we just would want to regulate people on every single tree they cut down in their own yard.
I think general environmental regulations, I mean, in general, in the United States, environmental regulations are a little tricky.
Mhm.
Because you have to eventually get back to a constitutional basis for them.
Yeah.
And a lot of things we only get into because we can tie them to other permits. So the whole, environmental impact statement process only happens if you happen to be applying for something else, right? And otherwise the feds or the state can get involved, let alone us. So I think looking around to see what other people do about clear cutting on private land, what's their underlying basis for being able to do it is really important, because the town right of way, like the narrow right of way, is one thing that's pretty well established, but 20 feet in would be a real, that'd be a fight.
Yeah.
And a legitimate fight.
Your point's
But
well
we
taken,
can find
Nicole.
what other people are doing. Yeah.
We want to make sure the mitigation does not simply apply to somebody that's developing a piece of land.
Mhm.
Yeah. Your point that it should probably be, the mitigation should probably be elsewhere than simply zoning is well taken. All right.
It would be easiest to add it to zoning since you've already got the statement. The only amendment might just have to be, using the guidelines in Appendix E or something
Yeah.
like that. So you'd only need to amend a few words and agree
Yep.
on whatever that appendix might be.
Yep. Yep. And the rewriting the zoning, by the way, only took 3 years. All right, very good. Anybody else?
Yep, I gotta run.
Yeah, well, we're done unless you have something new, gentlemen, people. Been a good meeting. I think we got a lot done. Between now and the next meeting, I will give you updates on the forum. Obviously, talk to people about coming. If you have questions, let me know. We, at the next meeting, we'll obviously finalize the forum. We will, the Arbor Day contest will be decided then, it's important. And we'll also look at the shade tree ordinance again. Try to finalize that. Anybody, any questions? Comments?
Just
Motion
a
to-
really good job putting that forum together.
Well, let me tell you, I, I was getting very nervous and annoyed that how many groups I contacted, and they all were, yeah, that's nice, but no, we don't have anybody. You know, that was, kind of irritating to me. You would think that all these groups, somebody would volunteer, but I got a woman at DCCR, I think she told this guy to come, but, that's the way to do it sometimes. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second to adjourn?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor of adjourning? Thank you very much, folks. See you in the 12th, 3 weeks.